Now, as we start to dig into understanding of number, one of the tools that you might want to use is a number path. Here's an example here of a number path 1 through 10. We can use this for counting. So for example, I can touch and count each of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. But I could also use these for this comparison. Oh, 7 is greater than 3. But then as I look at this number path, I see that it has these numerals in it. So we have 10 numerals, 0 through 9, and those numerals can be used to construct any number. So 10 is constructed of 2 numerals, 10 is a number, while 9 is a number, but also a numeral. A little bit confusing there, but that's one of the ways we think about all of this vocabulary related to numerals and number. Now, these number paths are really helpful for students to understand, start to establish that mental number line. Remember that mental number line is understanding which numbers are less and which numbers are greater. And then eventually we can translate that into actually thinking about numbers along a number line. So here I have an open number line, and I could think about, well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm starting to, I could write that physically on there to practice those numbers, but I could also do that to help, I would say, really make concrete that mental number line. Now, as we start to look at these numerals and they are used to construct numbers, we need to give students a lot of different practice here. So printables are great. Students just need practice writing these numbers again and again and again and again. But we also want to help students identify numerals. So I can't just say 12, but I have to be able to look at this and understand that this 1 and this 2, it means 12, and it represents 12 quantities, and eventually it represents 1 10 and 2 1s. We'll talk about that in the module on place value. But then we also want to help students understand numbers that are greater than things like 6 or 12, but numbers all the way to 3-digit numbers by 2nd grade. So here I can look at this number, 240, and then I can interpret that that has 2 hundreds, visually shown here by the base 10 blocks, 4 tens, here also shown by the base 10 blocks, here are the rods, and then 0 ones. I don't need to show any ones, wouldn't put any units in there, but this represents 240. There is an entire module for the Kansas Math Project that talks about place value. So we are not going to spend much time on it here, because I think you'll probably go to that module and spend all the place value time there. But we just want to emphasize that when we are thinking about writing numerals, it's not just writing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but it is writing things like 12, 240, and lots of other numbers as well. Now, as we think about place value, we want to move into expanded form. Again, there's a lot more about this in the Kansas Math Project module on place value. But here we see that expanded form, if I'm writing that with numbers, is I have 240, 0. And then if I'm writing that in unit form, I could write that as 2 hundreds, 4 tens, and 0 ones. We need to give students a lot of different practice opportunities here to understand that these are all representations of the same number, and all of these representations are important. So that brings us to activity 6, where you are going to think about these different ways of unit form and expanded form and the standard form of the number. So first we'd like you to teach 163 in those different forms, and then think about how you would support students in their learning of 214.